you doing?
Yo.
Welcome back to Leather Helmet Fandom Podcast. Today we will be going over, like we do every single week, the Week 8 Sportsbook, brought to you by myself, Caleb Consman,
and Josh Consman, the clown.
And also the guy that's on his third losing streak. Real fast before we get into Week 8 of the NFL and just shy of going halfway through the year, we're going to go over and review Week 7, how we did. Josh, you want to state how we did and what went down?
Yeah, so the overall, obviously I lost again. It's hard to tell, but I got the clown face, which is fitting for my worst week of the year so far. I got negative 12.9 units. Caleb came in at just over 5 units at 5.6 positive. So far on the year, I'm still positive, 17.4, so I'm still confident. I know I can bounce back. I just honestly been having bad luck with my locks. Gone a little too, I don't know, like chasing my losses and just making bad betting calls. Caleb's almost back in the positive for the year. He's at negative 4.
Positive this week, baby.
Come back up in the profit life, actually making that money. But you want to go over some of your old bets at all, or your past bets?
Yeah, so basically I looked at it as in this. I placed like 19 units, I think it was total, 18 actually. And a lot of my prop bets hit, but a lot of them didn't hit. And it's crazy because Renfro went 58. I did it 57.5 under, and he hit 58. I did Devontae Smith under 57.5, and he did 61. Super close. And then Josh Jacobs, I did his over 57.5 rushing yards, and he left the game early because of injury. Drake took over and did like easily over 50 rushing himself. Wow, Jacobs already had like 30 rushing yards before he left. It's negotiable, but I mean, you like Jacobs a lot better than Drake like last year. So I mean, I was never on Drake.
Opportunities. I think he's trash.
Either way, I took it because he was playing the Eagles, and they went over 100 rushing yards. So I think if Josh Jacobs just didn't get hurt, he would have easily hit that over. So I got some shit luck there. Hunter Henry over 38.5 receiving yards. That didn't hit, but that was obviously me just taking an L. There's it wasn't close at all. And then my other close one was Detroit Lions. They got 19 total points. I took under 17 total points. And they basically kept the game alive, or came out of the gate hot off of 3 trick plays, 1 onside kick that no one knew was coming, and they recovered it, and then 2 fake punts that they got first downs on, and I believe one of them turned into a touchdown. So it is what it is. Obviously, they won it, and they went over, and I lost the bet, but it's still close. So my week could have went like amazing, but it didn't go out as I planned it, and at the end, I only like just shy of 5 units plus. So you want to go over around to your prop bets?
Yeah, I mean, every single prop bet of mine hit except for Hopkins, which honestly I was a little surprised just because he did get what I expected, the majority of the target share. He had 9 targets and I believe 6 or 7 receptions out of them, and he still couldn't even hit 70 yards.
Nice.
So a little disappointing there, just because what happened was what I was expecting to happen, just except for the yardage per catch, or no big plays. But I mean, I had Goff going over. He showed up against his old team. I had Tom Brady under. It was a blowout game, so they ran a lot more. I had Kamara under rush attempts, hit. Hawkinson over receptions, hit. So props went really well. Both my over-unders hit, like, pretty easily, between Bucks and Bears going under, and then Colts and 49ers going over. So with all that said, my lock screwed me, obviously. I'm just telling you everything I hit, and I was like 8-1. So hopefully I look to bounce back. I'm having a lot of luck with my props, so if I put a good amount of my props and over-unders together, I think I'll get a nice parlay going. And we're going to try to play a little safer this week with my lock. Just keep it one game or one line, no parlaying. The lock's out here. Can't get too confident, too cocky.
Real fast before we go on to week 8. I want to touch base on you had actually one of your one of your bets was over 42.5 for Colts and 49ers. I also took that. I just didn't put it on the podcast because it was very last minute. And also, I've every single week taken the lowest over-under and hitting the over on it. And last week, there was like 3 that was 42.5. Took the best one I thought, which is the one you actually picked, and it went over. So I'm going to do it again this week and hit the lowest over-under for the over and see if it just keeps happening week after week, depending on how low it actually is, though. If it's something I don't like and everything just seems too high, I'm going to steer away from it. But we'll get into it for week 8, and we'll see how we are at. You want to do the sprindle? You want to do the spin of the wheel since it took an L again?
I'll take the spin this week. So last week I got daddy daughter. It's a little hard to tell. I got looks like some black eye looking crap.
Some purple lipstick.
Yeah, I got the nails did. But makeup's done, so we're taking that off the board, and we'll see where we go from there. Let's give it a spin. Yeah, I'm enjoying this more and more, but... All right. Fantasy hypocrisy.
Oh, I got screwed with this one.
Oh,
the one you got to pick your favorite.
Yeah, I got not my favorite.
Fantasy.
Anybody on my fantasy, I have to pick the under for somebody on my fantasy.
We're going to do it right on the spot.
So let's go through my lineup right here. So I got Dak Prescott, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Deebo Samuel, T.J. McLaurin, Conklin, Khalil Herbert, and Tyler Boyd. Even though I don't know if I'll start Tyler Boyd.
Honestly, your best bet's probably Henry.
Oh, so what's Henry at?
Like 103?
103 rushing?
Mm-hmm. Might be a little bit lower or higher now. Let me check.
Don't know if I love that. Where's the Colts? What's Prescott's passing yards? Or is he out yet? I think they took him down for now.
Yeah, they don't have him up. I tried looking for it actually. Let me see.
Give me.
Hold on. Let me pull up. So Henry is at 103. Yep. It was right.
What is Terry McLaurin's receptions?
Receptions? I thought we got to take over unders on receiving.
Yeah, I could do under anything.
They
just got to be under
because they suck.
I don't have them up. Screw it. I won't think too much about it. I'll just put 1 unit on the.
You can Mixon too.
I don't know. Mixon's gonna have a good game.
Samuels,
Deebo. Oh man, I don't like this. Screw it. Let's go with my least favorite player. Conklin.
Oh, you should do Boyd 1,000%.
No, I like Boyd, especially this week.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, you should do his under.
What's his over-under?
His
If it's 40 or less, I'm not doing it.
It is 44.5 receiving.
I don't know.
The only time.
Let me.
All right, real fast. I'm just gonna put this on perspective.
I don't like it.
Let me help you out here. He went under this 5 out of 7 games. Okay. One of those games he went, Higgins was out. When he went over, Higgins was out.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other game, Chase only had 4 targets. Now Chase averages 8 targets a game since that game. And I feel like they won't need him because they're going to blow them out. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be more running. You think Mixon's going to have a good game. And he hasn't hit this any time that Chase has got the targets.
He's too utilized.
Not too utilized, though.
Like his last 4 games, 11 targets, 5 targets, 3 targets, 7 targets.
Okay. Well,
so he's averaging 7
what you
targets.
Want. I guarantee this is going to hit.
All right. Well, I'm not guaranteeing that.
All right. So you're taking him.
As long as he's available, Conklin under.
That's the tight end, right?
Yeah. Of the
That's
Vikings.
A good one. Because this is a tight end. There's no way it's going to be available. Yeah, it's not available.
What the fudge? All right. Just give me freaking Derrick Henry under.
Okay. 103. Derrick Henry.
Does he have
under.
Passing end?
Possibly. I doubt it,
Titans.
actually.
Titans versus the Colts. Where you going, bro? That's the last game.
Here we go. All right, taking a little bit long here, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Rushing and receiving.
He is at 120.5.
Yeah, give me that. Okay. 120.5 under rushing and receiving for
minus
Derrick Henry.
115, 1 unit.
All right.
You're locked in.
All right. I'll take it. I feel like that's actually not a bad bet. So maybe I'll boost my. I better not bet my own. If it's my only loss, I'll
last week, this man was at 140.5 rushing and receiving, and I took the under and a hit. Now that he dropped down 20 yards, that's from one game. That's crazy. But I'm pretty sure he'd even hit his over rushing last week. So hopefully he just doesn't.
No, he didn't. But he didn't need to.
All right. Well, let's jump into week 8 of the NFL Sportsbook with our bets. We're going to start off with our prop bets as we always do. I'm just going to jump right into mine and just start it off with James Conner under 56.5 rushing and receiving yards. Edmonds is a lot healthier now, and they play, forgetting names now, or
Cardinals?
Teams. Cardinals play
Packers.
Packers tonight.
20 minutes.
Cardinals defense is losing both of their edge rushers. Watt's not playing. And then the other guy's questionable. I don't know if he's playing. Maybe he is playing.
He better be playing. There's no way he's not.
But either way,
Chandler Jones back too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be less. I think it's going to be more close than people think it is. Right now, they have it at like 6. I think the spread is. For the Cardinals, and I just think it's going to be a closer game than we think, even with two good players, I guess you would say, on Green Bay. I know obviously the one's elite, but the other one, Lazard, is kind of average at best. So both of those are out, and then all of a sudden it went from like -3 spread to like -6 spread or 6.5, and then it went down to 6. Either way, I think it's going to be closer. So I don't think Cardinals are going to run as much. I think Murray is slowly getting healthier and healthier over the weeks as they go by. So I think he can run just as much too. I just think the game script goes not towards James Conner's favor. James Conner is 56.5 rushing plus receiving. He also barely ever
and receiving.
He also barely ever receives. Barely gets enough targets because they don't game script him like that. He's usually used at the goal line. Hence why Edmonds has no touchdowns and James Conner gets it all. So I can just easily see this hitting, and that's my first prop bet. What's yours?
So I'll stay in the same game. I got 3 for that game. I already posted them on socials, but I got Ertz over. This one's going up. The lowest I saw was on DraftKings recently, over 32.5 receiving yards. I just like how they're utilizing the tight end this year between Max Williams, who's a 7-year vet that somehow started popping off in his 7th year on the Cardinals this year, averaging, well, he didn't average, but he had 2 games above 70 yards. Ertz first game hasn't even like dialed in with the offense yet, and he goes for his longest reception touchdown of his career.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So I see him getting at least another 4 or 5 targets. So I think he'll be able to get at least one good chunk yardage, whether it's like 10 to 15. And once he gets that, it should be an easy hit. Another one I got for that game, I got Murray under 26.5 rushing yards. The only reason really is just because since he re-aggravated his shoulder injury, which he injured last year, he has yet to run in the last 3 games, maybe even 4, for over 10 yards. So I really think he's going to keep to that trend until they feel confident that he's back to full health. Even then, I think he's going to realize like rushing is putting himself and his team in danger of making this.
And his career, especially if
and his career in general.
Playoffs.
But the fact that they're undefeated and this could be one of the best seasons of his career. And then the last one I got is Kristen Kirk under 19.5 for his longest reception.
I like it. The slot guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's only utilized in the slot with AJ Green and Hopkins taking the outside routes.
And Hopkins is starting today, so.
Yeah, and I like Kirk. He has good hands, and he has opportunity to hit this, but he's going to have to hit it, either catch the ball at that mark or get it with his legs, like on a slant route, and he gets an extra 5 or 6 yards after the catch. Maybe he'll hit it, but I think it's more likely that he goes just under, maybe like a 16, 17-yard catch. And I also think I'm on the opposite trend. I think the Cardinals are about to blow out the Packers. Maybe not blowout. Like the Packers will score at least 1 or 2 touchdowns. But I see the Cardinals winning this game by more than one possession, so 2 or more possessions. So they'll have a 10-point win or more. So with that said, they're not going to worry about throwing the ball super far. They're going to try to run a little bit more, which kind of contradicts almost everything you said. But
all good.
We'll see what the game script rolls out. I mean, you never know with Rodgers, honestly, because the man's got a super good arm and he likes showing up when he's on the spotlight. So maybe he will throw a bomb to, like, I don't know, St. Brown that, like, nobody's talking about or whatever. And you'll be like, oh, okay. F us, Cardinals about to lose their first game.
All right, so real fast, before we leave this game, I actually have one more prop bet. I got A.J. Green on over 44.5 receiving yards at minus 110 at 1 unit. I also forgot that I'm doing I forgot to tell you, James Conner, his thing is minus 120 1 unit. So, obviously, they juiced it a little bit.
Oh, I didn't go over my units.
No, you didn't.
Ertz, 1.5 units. Murray, 1 unit. Kirk, 1 unit.
And your Kirk one's at minus 120. The rest are minus 115.
Yep.
But real fast, to go to my last prop of this game, A.J. Green over 44.5 receiving yards, minus 110 1 unit. Basically, either you're going to have a good day or I'm going to have a good day on this game with how many prop bets we have. And obviously, they kind of contradict each other as well. I'm picking A.J. Green over 44.5 receiving yards just because I feel like other guys are going to get covered a lot more, and A.J. Green can easily get this over. He hit it 4 out of his 7 games and missed 1 on a hook. So he had 1 game that he missed was 44 yards. So if you take that, then he hit it 5 out of his 7 games, which is pretty damn good. So as long as he doesn't get shares taken away because Ertz is now there, which he could, then maybe he should be able to get it. It's just more or less how much does Ertz take away from him, because they did have Max, whoever that dude was before, Max Williams, but he was there and he got targeted pretty good amount too when A.J. Green was there, and obviously he still hit with A.J. Green playing, so I don't think it will affect it that much, and I can easily see him hitting this over with like 2 plays, to be honest, so it really just depends on how the game script goes, but I'm hoping...
It doesn't completely contradict, though, because I think the Cardinals will take the lead, and they like using A.J. Green in the red zone.
Yeah, technically all of ours could hit, to be honest. It's just more or less who's getting the usage, because if Ertz gets it all, then... Or if Ertz gets more than 32... chances are Green's probably not going to get it.
I wouldn't say that. I think both of them could have.
Or Kirk can go over it. I don't know, but we have 3 wide receivers on the Cardinals, either going over or under. So if they all hit, then props to us and props to you guys for following us. But either way, I'm going to take that with 1 unit minus 110. And moving on to the next game, next prop bet from me, taking Kamara over 46.5 receiving yards at minus 115 for 1 unit. They just picked up Ingram, and he most likely will be playing, which kind of takes away, hopefully, I'm hoping, a little bit of rushing for Kamara, and he's more used as like a receiver, more like in the open, and possibly even with Kamara and Ingram on the field at the same time. They've played together before, and they've both dominated together with their fantasy points goes. But either way, I think they're going to use Kamara in the open field more, and they should be behind on the game script, either that or a close game for Saints, because they're playing Bucks, I believe.
Yep, Buccaneers.
So with how good their Saints defense has been, it could be a close game, so it could be like a fight the entire time. But I don't think the Saints will ever be up. If anything, they'll just be behind from the whole time. And last week, watching them was just a disgrace. The only reason they won, the only reason they were actually doing something was because of Kamara. Yeah. I think he had like 100 receiving yards or something like that. Callaway dropped like 4 balls. He should have called it.
What's his name's reaction? James Winston.
Oh yeah, to the other Traquan Smith. He's like yelling at him on the side. So I could just see him like. Winston doesn't want to look bad, so he just checks it down to Kamara because that's all he did last game. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to trust him because of how good he is. But that's pretty much it. Also, he went over it the past 2 games, like I said, 100 yards, and I think the other one was 80 receiving yards. So hopefully it happens 3 times in a row. That'll be great. Kind of like my lock has hit 3 weeks in a row now. So, you want to jump on the next prop?
Yeah, you sure. So this one might be down. I think they took a lot of the Vikings and
it'll be up in
Cowboys down.
By the time I watch
but
this.
The line shouldn't change much when they come back up. But I have Dalvin Cook over 18.5 rush attempts at negative 105. I got 1.5 units on this one. He's hit every game that he's played this year, except for the one game he got injured that he left early. So pretty much every game he's had 70% or more snaps of the snap percentage. He's hit this and very easily hit it. He's been over 20 each game. I want to say the game script for this for the Vikings will be to run the ball as much as possible. The Dallas defense isn't bad, but the rush defense is very, very bad. Like they let up chunk plays at their chunk plays over to like not even the best running backs. So I see them trying to keep the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand because obviously we know their offense can put up points like fast. They've been doing it all year. So to do that, they can run the clock out, try to run the ball as much as possible. And because of that, I see him easily hitting this. And I like it more than his rushing over, which isn't stupid high. It's set at like 82. I just think it's too close to what he'll actually get.
It's a little bit high for me.
But I got Cook over 18.5 rush attempts at 1.5 units.
All right, you want to just jump in?
Yeah, I'll stay in that game. I also have Justin following the same game script. I think the Vikings actually are going to be in control of this game. I really like them at home. Their stadium is very, very rowdy, especially when they start like out well or start the game off well. They get really hype. They got that stupid Viking horn that goes off every time they make a good play, not even just touchdowns. Justin Jefferson will go under 87.5 rush or receiving yards at negative 115. Again, 1.5 units. Following the same game script. I believe even though he gets a lot of targets, he's not Cousins' favorite target, which is Adam Thielen.
I agree.
They never had the best chemistry. He's just too young and immature for Cousins. He's only actually surprisingly hit this, even though he has had a crap ton of targets, like double-digit targets almost every week. He's only hit this 2 out of 6 games this year. So it's already been shown that he's not been hitting this as often. So it seems a little higher than really what it should be, like low 80s. And I'm not sure how much, only because I don't watch the Cowboys too often, how much Diggs really shadows the top receiver. But he's having an outstanding year. So I don't see that slowing down now. He's got the confidence. So if he might follow Jefferson a lot in this game.
With that being said, though, if he does follow Jefferson, I've heard he's let up like a tremendous amount of receiving yards to his opponents. He just intercepts 24/7, so he kind of takes the risk, like, I'm going to make this interception.
I got you.
So I don't know what his numbers are, but I've heard that in the media like 1,000 times.
Yeah, but like I said, I think the Vikings are going to try to stay away from the passing game. I mean, they're still going to take some shots, but since everything's statistically favoring him going just under this, I like it just because it's super high.
It is high.
But that's all I got for the Vikings and Cowboys game.
All right, I'm going to speak of my last prop bet. I know you got a few more, so I'm just going to tag mine out, and then you can jump in and fill in.
Is this your lock? Or not lock, but your
This is my strong one. We talked about it before already in the beginning of this podcast. Tyler Boyd under 44.5 receiving yards at minus 115 for 3 units. He's went under it, like I said before, 5 out of 7 games. One of the games he went under or over, Higgins was out, and the other, Chase, only had 4 targets, and now Chase, since that game, has averaged 8 targets a game. So I doubt he will be seeing only 4 targets like he did. Jets? They play the Jets. I also don't think they will need him in this situation because I think they will be able to blow out the Jets, so they'll be able to run the ball. like you said, they have Mixon. Mixon is a great running back. He's been having a pretty great year, I would say. And they can easily just run out the clock and run him play after play after play once they go up. So as long as they go up fast and no weird shit happens, like where Jets beat fucking Titans, I can easily see this hitting.
I don't think it's out yet, or if I didn't see it, a prop for how many sacks the Bengals will have. Just because I feel like the Bengals defense is underrated, and the Jets are starting their rookie White at quarterback, not even Flacco. So I don't, unless the rookie shows up, even if he does, like I just see the Bengals putting a lot of pressure on them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Bengals. I believe they're top 10 overall defense right now, as far as yards goes allowed. So they're obviously a pretty damn good defense lately.
Yeah, so maybe look for like I doubt they have it out there, but like Jets QB under, or maybe like total sacks by Bengals.
Yeah, I think overall this will be just a domination
but
game.
I'm not a huge fan of Tyler Boyd's bet, only because I love Tyler Boyd.
And you have him on your fantasy. Like this is all just Josh being Tyler Boyd hungry. And
no, dude.
Eventually he'll learn.
Dude gets targets. It only takes one target.
He has not shown that he gets more targets than Higgins or Chase. And you also told me at the beginning of the year that Chase wouldn't be Rookie of the Year, and Chase isn't the better option, and Boyd or Higgins is. But right now, Chase is looking like that damn option.
I was wrong at that. Obviously, Chase is the best. He's the number one on the team, and he has the most chemistry with Burrow, which is clear. But Tyler Boyd's a safety net. Doesn't matter if he only gets 6-7 targets. It's a super safe throw.
I don't think he's getting 7 targets, but okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, let's finish out these prop bets with yours.
We got a lot to bang out here. We got some bangers.
All right,
so Henderson under 108.5 rushing plus receiving yards.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. I mean, he's been putting up some really good numbers.
They play trash team, though, don't they?
The Rams play the... It's not
trash
a great team
because they
got a huge spread.
8. Yeah, 14.
It's not the Giants. That's the Chiefs.
It's got to be not Jaguars.
No.
Houston Texans.
Texans. Yeah,
that's probably why it's so high.
I think the Texans will actually. I mean, they're not going to stay in the game, but they're going to have a better game than they have been having, just because what's his name supposed to be back? Tyrod Taylor supposed to be back, so I think they'll be a little bit more competitive. And honestly, I just still, as much as Henderson is getting the work and he is putting up like 80 yards a game, he's never put both the rushing and receiving together to go over this more than once this year. I mean, he has been close, but he's only went over once. I still don't believe he's a workhorse. I think because it will be closer to a blowout, or at least a very confident, easy win.
Sony Michel
is going to get work towards the... I mean, he's going to get work the whole game, but really get a lot of work towards the fourth quarter. So I see Henderson just going under 100. As long as he doesn't have a breakout 60-yard run, which he's really, again, not that type of person. I mean, he can have decent runs, but he never can beat anybody on a foot race down the whole field.
He's blew my expectations of him. I would say my expectations were low on him in the beginning of the year, and he's definitely went well past that so far. So. But Rams also have looked amazing, so.
Yeah. So I like that under. I have it at 1 unit. Another one I have is Robbie Anderson under 4.5 receptions. I got it 1 unit on this. My man's at a 37% catch rate for the whole season.
Wow.
He's literally had like over 50 targets.
Talk about fall off.
Yeah. So obviously the chemistry people thought Darnold might have with Robbie Anderson isn't as great or as good as we saw at the Jets. They're just not on the same page.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that they were on the Jets together.
Yeah, and he did pretty good there. I mean, he was only used for, like, long shots, but I think that's the problem is, like, they're trying to use him all over the field in different routes, and he's not the best receiver when it comes to just... And on top of that, you have Darnold, who's just been looking like butt cheeks. So it doesn't help when you get really crappy targets, like thrown in coverage or completely... Like, they count targets, but in reality, like, almost not half of them, but a good amount of them are uncatchable to a point. Anderson's not a good receiver, so he's not going to make a hard catch, let alone a good one. And then I think Aaron Donald's really going to focus on DJ Moore, just because we already seen he'd rather throw to DJ Moore in double coverage than Robbie Anderson in single. So I like that at 1 unit. Another one I got a rookie, my fire rookie of the year. Obviously, he's not Jamar Chase's, but he's got a late start. Khalil Herbert, the running back of the Bears. The last 3 games, he's been putting up over 100 yards. I mean, my man's on fire. He put over 100 yards, the first rusher of the year to put over 100 yards on the Bucs defense. So I really do like Herbert, not even just because the Bears O-line is good, but because he just has that drive. I don't think he went undrafted, but if he was drafted, it was definitely at the back end. So over 64.5 rush yards at negative 115. I got 1.5 units on this. And then my last one, why can I not remember his first name? The Chargers,
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. On the Chargers, I have him under 73.5 receiving yards at negative 120 in 1 unit.
That's juiced.
I think it's up high. I mean, he has been having the best year of his career, and he has one of the best QBs, so it's not like it's not possible. I just feel like all his good weeks leading up to this were a product of really good health, which he's never had in his career ever. And it's been against very poor defenses. If you look at his first 6 weeks matchups, none of their secondaries have been holding up any teams. So this week, I can see him definitely going under the 73.5. You'd think that's the highest line of any receiver in this game, but I have it at 1 unit. And that wraps up my props. You want to roll into spreads?
Yeah, real fast, though. Definitely give me props for calling out this Herbert, dude. I just think it's mind-blowing how I believe Bears rushing was, like, the worst in the league last year, and now all of a sudden they're like, great, do you know what the hell happened? Like, they get a random new offensive line, now they're, like, rushing like crazy. Last year, all I remember is just like, they have, like, 2 rushing yards total.
I mean, at
like,
the end of the year, they did
games.
good, but they also played trash teams. Because I remember David Montgomery had a good streak at the end. I remember that. Yeah, I think their O-line's always been good. They've just been put in bad situations. Like, they're never stay on the field because their QB's just been butt after butt after butt, no matter who they put in. Oh, there we go. Cardinals putting that working.
4 and out. All right, well, let's jump into spreads. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't really do over-unders.
I do.
I mean, I got some, but actually I probably have more over-unders than spreads. I don't even know if I have a spread. Hold up. Yeah, I definitely have a spread.
What's your lock?
No. So my first spread, and I think my only spread is Steelers at plus 3.5.
Oh,
they are playing the
juicy.
Cleveland Browns.
That's juicy.
Minus 110, 1 unit.
Is Keenum playing?
They are.
They don't know yet.
I don't know yet. I believe Keenan is, if that's how you say Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum is playing, but I'm not 1,000% sure. Baker may play. Either way, they're 4-0 off a bye the last 4 years since our defense has been good. Realistically, since Watt has joined our team. Bud Dupree came the year before him, I think it was, or 2 years before him. I think it was 2014. But then ever since Watt has joined this defense in 2017, they've just been going uphill since then, and they've won up every single game after their bye. And I believe one of them was versus the Browns. I also know that Steelers own the Browns. I think Ben's record is like 44-5-1 or something like that. Some crazy number, but obviously the Browns have been horrible, and they're a lot better now than they ever had. Face mask.
Ripped his head off.
And so I can easily see them sticking with this narrative that they're just going to keep owning the Browns. I think that playoffs game last year was just completely blown like crazy. There was a bad snap that turned into a fumble, and I believe they picked it up for a touchdown, or either way they got it down like the 1 yard line, turned into a thing. It got out of hand. They went up by like 28 points in the first quarter, I think it was, and then Steelers almost brought it back and won it still with that. So I just think if Baker's questionable, you have a backup quarterback. Landry's questionable with a knee. Zach Banner, our right tackle for Steelers, is back and healthy. He hasn't been like all season. I think he played like one game. Hunt is out. OBJ's shoulders look like Dick Cheese.
Nick Chubb
He looks like
back?
Dick Cheese. What? Nick Chubb is back.
Oh, he is back.
People Jones is questionable with a groin again, and all the Steelers are healthy. Like this is the most healthy Steelers has been since week 1, if not before week 1. I really wish Tuitt came back, our defensive end, and Alu, our nose tackle, but I don't think they're going to be in. Maybe Alu. They really haven't talked about it much, but hopefully Alu comes back for the nose tackle. But like I said, I'm not banging on it. Either way, all I know is our right tackle's back, which helps our offensive line, which has been very, very bad this season. And obviously, Zach Banner was there. When we played the Bills, we beat the Bills. And I just think it's going to happen again, and we're actually going to beat the Browns. I believe it's also at home. No, actually, I think it's away. Either way, I got Steelers at plus 3.5, 1 unit.
You think
-110.
Najee has more all-purpose yards than Nick Chubb?
No,
No.
because we have our receivers.
So what do you think Nick Chubb's going to have? Like
He'll have more
100?
rushing yards for sure. I think Nick Chubb will have 83 to 84 rushing yards.
And they're still going to lose.
And they're still going to lose, yeah. It's a close game, but I think they're going to win. I think it's going to come down to an end game.
Well, technically, you have the spread.
A game-ending field goal.
Right?
It would have to be more than
Plus
plus
3.5.
3.5. Yeah, so it would have to be them not losing by a field goal. But I think it's going to come down to a game-ending field goal, which I hate games like that. But Steelers somehow are always the ones that get that field goal at the end because their defense is so dominant. So hopefully that happens. But that's my one and only spread of the week. What's yours?
So I got Titans at +2. The line's been jumping all over the place. I think the Colts are overhyped. I mean, they had a good game last week. It was fun to watch, but I think majority of the reason it was fun to watch is because of the weather, and the ball was fumbling all over the place. I still really think they would have lost that game if it wasn't for the weather. It kind of played in their favor. The ball just bounced, and the fumbles went their way. So I think the Colts will struggle against the Titans to really get anything going on offense.
I agree.
And the Titans are just going to do what they keep doing,
What
running
are they
the ball.
getting? 4?
And the Titans have been looking really good. Like, ever since A.J. Brown and Julio Jones came back, they have Titans as an underdog at +2.
I think their main thing that everyone's overlooking is their defense. Their defense is stepping up. They obviously picked up Bud Dupree from the Steelers, which had a phenomenal year last year. He looked pretty freaking good. Their secondary is stepping up and showing out. So I think this team's really come together because of their defense and more or less because Henry just pops off. But like you saw it when Henry took a step down, which really wasn't a huge step because he's just amazing. The defense showed up and obviously held them back. So
So I think they'll easily handle this one, and they're giving +2. So I'll just take the spread.
Yeah, I got Titans money line for sure.
But -110, 1.5 units on that. And then another one I teased together. Don't worry, I'm not putting it as my log. But I got a teaser I'm comfortable with at teaser +7. So I'm adding 7 points to the Bengals. So the Bengals line changes to -3.5 versus the Jets. 49ers, the line changes to +3 against the... Why am I forgetting?
Your Jets versus who?
No, who did the 49ers play?
49ers play.
Oh, I forget this.
Shit. It's a weird team. I definitely did not pick 49ers. There we go.
So the 49ers changed to +3, and the Bills changed to -6.5 versus the Dolphins. So I think all those pretty good hits. I mean, the only one that could, for some weird reason, not lean towards their favor would be the 49ers, but I think they're a way better team than they showed versus the Colts loss. They will have better weather. The Bears look like just awful on offense, and the 49ers look
Besides
good
the
on
rush.
defense.
The rushing game's been pretty.
Yeah. Khalil Herbert's. Was it? Oh, I guess this contradicts a little bit. That's all right. Khalil Herbert's not going to be able to do enough to
I got Bears
win
money
in the
line.
game. You have Bears money line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're high. They just got destroyed by the Bucs.
Like, it's fine.
3 points.
It's fine. I don't think 49ers are all that.
I think they're really good.
All right, we'll see.
But, yeah, so that's what I have as a teaser. It's plus 120. I got 2 units on it. But that's all my spreads.
All right. You got any over-unders?
Yeah, I got one this week. Which I've been doing really good on. Just calling out game scripts on ones that seem obvious to me. But I got the Bucs Saints game under 50.5.
Bucs Saints
under 50.5. I think both defenses are pretty good. I mean, the Bucs secondary is obviously not great, but the Saints passing game is trash.
Right. I like this.
So they bounce out, and then the Bucs rush defense is good, and the Saints have one of the best rushers, but
I like it.
going to struggle. Not struggle, but it's just going to take up a lot of time off the clock. And the Saints secondary is pretty good. So they match up well to just hold each other back from really their true potential in offense. And then I just see the Bucs really controlling this game. So there's no reason since the Saints won't be scoring much, like I really don't see them scoring more than 14. The Bucs will have no reason to do anything but run the clock out once they're up by 2 possessions.
I like it.
So I like, if you want, look at Fournette's prop. I didn't even look at it, honestly.
His over under.
His over, even though I think he's inflated because he's been doing a good year, but I like him running a lot this game. Maybe even his just attempts over.
I took his over rushing last week and it hit easily. Yeah.
So, well, at the same time, Saints rush defense is solid.
Yeah.
But all that saying, since the defenses are solid against the strengths, I got 1 unit on this because I think it's a good hit at negative 120 odds.
All right.
And that's my only over-under. Shots fired.
All right. So real fast, I'm doing over and unders. I got 2 of them. Again, this is total points I'm doing over and unders. If you could look up real fast what the lowest thing is on that they have for of the week as far as over-unders go, total games. Come on. Oh, fuck you, Jones. All right. Anyway. My first one is Green Bay under 21.5 total points. It's looking pretty solid right now.
Who is it?
Green Bay Packers under 21.5 total points at minus 108 for 1 unit.
Yeah,
Obviously,
like
you have Devontae Adams out, which is their hitter. It's the guy they go to all the time. He does everything for them. And obviously, they usually route to Aaron Jones when he's out. So Aaron Jones's prop bets in the over might be there, but either way, moving on to some of the things. Cardinals hit this under in 6 out of 7 games. Their defense obviously holding their opponents 6 out of 7 games. Even versus the Rams, Titans, and Browns, they held them under 21.5 points. Rams, Titans, and Browns. You're just talking about how good the Titans have been looking. We all know what the Rams have been, and we all know how much the Browns can score when they have their rushers, which they did versus Cardinals. I think it was week 1, I believe. No, not week 1. I forget what it was. But either way, they held Rams, Titans, Browns. That's a big one. 6 out of their 7 games, they held their opponents to under this. And now you're talking about taking a great offense and taking away their best weapon. Give me that all day. Cardinals are 4th in yards allowed per game, and Cardinals are also 1st in points allowed per game. When they play a top 10 defense in yards gain or points per game, Green Bay has scored 3 points versus the Saints and 25 points versus Bengals. Obviously, Bengals went to overtime with 2 clutch field goals towards the end, so it hit the over. But when they play a defense like Cardinals, since Cardinals are 1st and 4th as far as total yards and points allowed, anytime Green Bay has played someone like that, they only gotten 3 points and 25 points. And I believe both games they had Devontae Adams, but now they don't have Devontae Adams. And like I said, when they went and played Bengals, that was like in the top 10 range. They had 2 clutch field goals by their kicker. One which obviously they got one in overtime. So hopefully it doesn't happen and there's no overtime this game, or that would be some hot dick cheese, because then I don't think it's going to hit. But either way, there's so much good stats behind it that I like it. So I'm going to actually on live bump it up to 2 units. 2 units at minus 105 for Green Bay under 21.5 points. Actually, I feel like I can't do that because the game's already playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, it is biased. 1 unit. We'll leave it at 1 unit. But either way, definitely put this down before the game started. Also, Adams Lazard's out. Cardinals are home and undefeated and red hot. So I can easily see them just taking over this game and their defense. The only person they're really down is JJ Watt. So give me that all day. And my second and last over-under is Jets under 15 total points versus the Bengals at minus 110 for 1 unit.
Jets under
versus the Bengals. Talked about Bengals before being a decent defense, holding Green Bay to 25. They hit this 4 out of 6 games. This under they've hit.
The Jets?
Yeah, the Jets. Zach Wilson's now out. We all saw what last week was horrible. They actually went under last week. You have 2 games they went under were against defenses out of the top 15 in points allowed per game. So 2 out of their 6 games, they were out of the top 15 for points allowed and points total yards per points. So now they're playing Bengals, which is like top 5, top 10 in those 2 statistics. I can't see them easily hitting that over.
It would have to be garbage time.
Yeah. Bengals are 5th in points allowed and 10th in yards per game. Mike White is a 5th round 2018 pick and is starting, who threw 2 picks last week when he'd even played the full entire game. So chances are he's probably going to throw picks again. So again, there's a lot of stats to back up it. So this one, instead of me being able to move this game up since it started playing and we already see it going on the lower, I'm going to move this one up to 2 units for 15 total points. And that's my over-under for this week. We did spreads, we did props. So let's get right into...
You wanted the lowest over-under of the week?
What's that? Yes, what was the lowest? I forgot about that.
Chicago Bears and 49ers at 39.5.
I like that. I will take that live bet right now. 39.5 right now, you said?
This is 49ers Bears, not the... All right. Yeah.
All right, we'll just rock it. I'll put it on live air and I'll add it to my
over,
things.
right?
Over 39.5. I don't really like it, but we're gonna see how this trend works, and I'm gonna keep rocking it until it fails. So maybe it'll fail this week because obviously I don't really like Bears at all, and I don't really think 49ers are all as hyped as they think they are. But obviously, we will see. Obviously, 2 pretty decent defenses as well. Not great defenses, but decent. So let's move on to our long shot parlay. Josh, you want to get her in yours?
Yeah. So I'm just mixing up some of my props. So I got Khalil Herbert over. Why did I say under? Over 64.5 rush yards. Mike Williams under 73.5 reception yards. Henderson under 108.5 rushing and receiving yards. And the Saints-Bucks game to go under 50.5. You put all those 4 legs together, you get a odds of 1074. As always, putting 1 unit on our long shot. And, let's see if we have another good week. I mean, I hit 3 out of 4 last week and almost every other week of the year. Oh, shit. Is that AJ? Or is it Hopkins?
That's Hop.
Oh, now Hopkins decides to go for a big play.
Did you pick an over on him? No, that was last week.
No, that's last week.
Oh, it's a flag. Might be offense interference. Either way, jumping into actually the thing. Honestly, you've been losing your locks, and I've liked them, but they've just been missing, I guess, because you're doing this.
Parlay.
But parlay, what's it called? Like
teasers.
Teasers, there you
just
go.
One leg that usually.
So maybe that's just what's been screwing you. Maybe you get some turnaround luck, hopefully, this week. I don't really know much of your people that you're betting on, though. I mean, obviously I know who Mike Williams is, but I don't really look at any of their numbers. But I do like the Saints-Bucks under 50.5. So hopefully the other 3 hit. I can easily see the Saints-Bucks going under. So to jump onto my same game parlay, it's not a long shot. Well, it is a long shot one because I don't have the spread, but it was definitely plus 1,000. You might have to do this.
What am I doing?
Putting in these things.
Yeah, what are the legs?
So it's all in this game. Oh, you're not going to be able to do it. I'll have to look it up.
Same game?
Yeah, it's same game parlay. It's Green Bay versus Cardinals. Same game parlay. Aaron Jones over 46.5 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's been targeted like 5 or 6 times already. Yeah, he hasn't really got much receiving yards. I've definitely seen at least 3 or 4. So hopefully they keep targeting towards him with Devontae Adams being out, just like they've proven they have before in the past. And then my second leg of this same game parlay is Bobby T, Robert Tonyan Jr. anytime touchdown scorer. Again, with Adams being out, and then if they're in the red zone, it's either going to be to Aaron Jones or Tonyan. I feel like that's the 2 top targets when he's throwing it. And obviously Aaron Jones can get it, but when you're only getting minus like 110 on that, I'm not going to take it. Rather take the risk and have Bobby T get a touchdown anytime. And then I have AJ Green touchdown anytime. The way he's been doing is every other week he's been getting a touchdown. So I believe he's at, like, last week he didn't have it. So 3 weeks, 3 touchdowns he's had back-to-back, or every other. He's been getting a touchdown. Last week he didn't. So this week I'm just hoping he does. Maybe with Zach Ertz being there that he pulls more attention away, because we all know how much tight ends get targeted in the red zone. Obviously we know how big AJ Green is. He can go up and get it. And he's been pretty damn reliable this year, more than people thought he would be able to.
Maybe right here it'll happen.
So take AJ Green anytime touchdown score, put it all together. I am not entirely sure. Let me see if I can pull up my phone before it dies. I'm going to say it's going to die real fast. There's no way it's loading in.
All right, well, you look at the odds.
Yeah,
I'll just roll into my lock. So my lock of the week, I mentioned it earlier in a teaser, but I got the 49ers. I did get it at -3, but it moved all the way to -4 already. I'm still confident -4. I think they're going to blow out the Bears. So I took the 49ers -4 at -110 odds. I got 5 units on that. I'm locking it in, playing a little safer with just one team that I'm confident in versus 3 that I'm confident in. And, see how it rolls this week. Let's get 100%. Wait, what was that stupid one I had to take? Oh, under Henry? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's still by a hit. I think
it was like 120.
This dude up a little bit too much.
Yeah.
No, it was 120 plus, receiving plus
rushing receivings.
All right, so you got your lock. I got my lock. I'm on a hot streak. Remember, 3 weeks in a row. The only reason I had 2 bad weeks before that was because my locks were hitting. Now Josh is in the hits, and now he's having bad weeks. So let's hope my lock hits, even though I have a +3. Or I have a 3-unit prop bet that I think is going to hit too. So if this lock doesn't hit, hopefully that one hits, and hopefully I don't go in the gutter -8 units. So with that being said,
you got 8 units on this?
No. With my lock, between my lock and under Chase's under, not Chase's.
So if you don't hit those two,
Boyd's under. If I don't hit those two, I'm -8.
All right, well, you're missing
hopefully
one.
It doesn't happen. What do you mean?
Boyd.
Oh, no, definitely not happening. Hopefully that one hits and then this one doesn't. Who's
Edmonds.
That? Edmonds, nice. And they're going up, which is great for me, even though I needed AJ Green, but who cares? Either way, my lock of the week is Bucks -4.5. I think it's a little bit disrespectful. Buccaneers been blowing people out. Gronk is back.
Yeah, Saints
obviously
like
AJ Brown's out. Saints offense has been looking like duty. All they can do is run it through Kamara, and that's it. So obviously you were talking about it. Bucks rush defense is great, so they can stop them. Secondary's not that good, but their passing's not that good. And I just don't think Saints can compete and stay up with them like that. I do think they can slowly start making it like a nervous game towards the end, depending on how close it is or how big of a blowout it is or isn't. So I'm going to take that -110, 5 units, Bucks -4.5 on the spread. And that's pretty much about it. Got anything else?
No, I think that wraps up.
All right. Well, let's hope we all have a great week. Hopefully we have a good night tonight. And if you want to follow me on all social medias, not just me, but me and Josh on Leather Helmet Fandom Sports not Leather Helmet Sports. Leather Helmet
fandom.
Sports.
Just search it all.
Yeah, just look up Leather Helmet Fandom on any social media and you'll find us. I will be posting again on Instagram and Facebook. How many games there are? All the games, money line, spread, not money line, spread, just money line pick. And if you see it, then it's a little bit bigger this time, so I'm not giving you half. Plus, it's also very hard to hit. But I will definitely give you a big share of it, and you will be able to win it. But then again, I got to hit all money lines, so it's very, very tough and kind of hard to do.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's all we got for you for this week. Hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy your week 8 of NFL football. And that's it. Peace.